there, nice to see you again. Today we are here for the new episode of the YouBeat Café, launching the new year 2025. And for the host of today, we choose a friend of us, a very representative of the independent sector. We are proud to have Dorian with us, co-founder of Groover platform, and also an independent artist too. So the Groover platform is a platform dedicated to the independents, especially, that allows you to promote your music, to share your music with different section of the industry that could help you to reach a better result for your project. It's correct, my presentation, Dorian?
Yeah, it is. It is. And it's great to see you, Rudy, and to have this conversation with you.
I would like to kick in straight to the topic we decided to touch for today. That's the digital connection first in the music industry. You know, your platform is strictly connected to this topic, and it's a powerful tool for the independent artist and also for the platforms, radio stations, playlist promoter, etc., that reach independent suggestions straight from the artist. And it's also a new way to build up a personal network, correct?
Yes, exactly. I'd say Groover is particularly helpful for independent artists or their representatives. So you can use it as a manager, an artist manager, a record label, a PR agent. And the idea is really to help you get in touch with music industry professionals, with also media outlets. It could be playlist curators, can be radio stations, could be also sound engineers. You choose who you want to get in touch with. So you really select one by one who you want to get in touch with. And you can use filters and a lot of parameters to help you select the right ones. And what we try to ensure is that they will listen to the music and they will give feedback, positive or negative. So basically what we try to do is help you break this wall of first listening when you send your song to music professionals, media outlets, radio stations, playlists, and make a connection. And when the playlist creators, when the media outlet likes the music, they can share it, they can get in touch with you. So it's really about like making connections and help spread your music to a larger audience.
We are really proud also to be promoter as YouBeat on the platform, especially with our section that's Groover Favorites by Matteo Villa. And it's a story post. We select the favorite submission we received periodically, and Matteo choose definitely some cool tracks recently. And I would like to ask your opinion about this shift that platform like Groover, for example, allows artists or representative to this kind of digital networking instead of the traditional that, for example, it's still alive. We met at IMS, for example, that's the proof it's still alive and powerful. But meanwhile, during the year, the digital could be a big support, right?
Yes, exactly. I think it's not like mutually exclusive. Like you can use both, of course, and you are like encouraged to use both. The thing is, when you're just starting out as an independent artist or you don't have a lot of network already built, it's very hard to build these connections and it can take a lot of time. What we're doing with Groover is helping you get in touch with people. Everyone can get in touch with everyone on the platform. And it comes only to, is your project strong? Is your music great? Is there a connection there on the taste side? Well, when you're like connecting with other people outside, it's more about how you build these relations. It's not like a bad thing, but it's also something that is very complementary. And we're seeing a lot of artists that are quite developed, quite advanced, that are using Groover to keep on extending their network while at the same time using the more like traditional way of connecting with people by meeting with them, by getting in touch with them through emails. It's not like one or the other, but it's more about adding tool that everyone can use. And especially it's very useful when you're starting out, but it's also very useful to keep on expanding your network, especially internationally and with new targets that are not using the traditional networks. For example, if you talk about like playlist creators, you don't get in touch with playlist creators the same way as you get in touch with like the press or magazines or like traditional or big radio stations. There are specific ways to get in touch with them, and they are more used to using platform like Groover to receive their submissions, while like press journalists will be more used to still receiving emails and sorting through them.
Take your last words to kick in another kind of way about you can use Groover or you can be independent in this era that is coming harder this period, but we don't leave the stuff there, but we try to keep on. So what could be a good strategies, in your opinion, that also about your artist experience to promote your music in a crowded marketplace like this one, where there's also on some genres the saturation of releases, or genres are also on social medias. So which could be a good strategy for you in this era as independent?
I'd say it's very hard to answer this one because there are so many different strategies depending on the music. I would say the first thing is to have a strategy, which is already something, because usually when artists release music, they want to release it, and a lot of them you don't plan too much ahead, and it makes a lot of sense. But if you really want to have some impact, I would really try to plan ahead, to try to have, okay, what can I do at every step of the way? What can I do before the release? What can I do when it's released on release day? And what can I do after? And I think one of the important things is to think about what you're going to do after the release, because often when you're releasing music, you're like, okay, it's done. Now it's released. Now it's going to expand or anything. But most of the work comes after that. And especially promoting your work to playlist creators, posting on social media, maybe running ads, maybe trying to have some shows or some content that you can use to promote your work. It's so important to keep on promoting your music in the next following weeks and months. And in particular, because for example, if you look at the algorithmic playlists on Spotify, which are like one of the big levers to grow today, they are really triggered when you're able to already get some organic traction in the first month or so of your release. So it's very important to try to be, okay, what can I do at every step of the way? What can I do before? Before you can do maybe a pre-save campaign with a pre-save link, maybe a teaser, maybe some videos that you shoot before to hype people about like the music you're gonna share on release day. You really need to get in touch with all your friends, all your families, or your entourage, so they can share about it, and also like send to people you trust in the industry and people that you trust around you, just to help you push your music on release day. And then it's super important to try to promote it. You can run campaigns on Groover. You can get in touch with people directly. You can promote it through ads. You can post on social media. Try to do everything you can, and also say yes to a lot of things. It's one of the things that is quite important, is that if you get some opportunities coming, I would say in the beginning, when you're releasing music, say yes to a lot of things. Say yes to anything. You never know where it's gonna come from. And sometimes it can come from like a very small opportunity, maybe a small radio show that nobody's listening to, but you're gonna meet people in that radio show, and maybe these people are gonna be interesting for you in the future. So I would be like, just get yourself out there, try to seize every opportunity. Don't stress too much about like seeing the big picture from behind. Just get into it and grind and do things. It's pretty basic, but I mean, like if you do it with energy and you do it a lot, that like this, at some point you'll see some green lights happening, and it will give you insights about how to keep on doing it for the next releases also.
I completely agree with this, especially because this balance between be authentic in your own way as artist, try to be yourself, represent the music you are sharing with people. It's not easy to find at the beginning, but if you still keep and repeat stuffs every day, every week, every month, something will grow. It used to say it takes a village, and it's not so far from the reality, I think.
I agree. It's like consistency is super important, and authenticity that you're mentioning. It's also very basic to say, and but it's super important to do things in the actions that you're doing that you feel comfortable with. Like if you're posting content about yourself or anything, try to find something that you genuinely enjoy doing, that you have fun doing, but because it's going to be a long game. You're going to need to post a lot for a lot of time and for a lot of years. So if you're already pissed about what you're doing in the beginning, you're not going to keep on doing it, or it's going to be very hard on you. So I would say like try to find something that you like doing genuinely and try to enjoy yourself in the process.
Yeah, I would mention a case study that it's cool to me. So I don't know. I don't think if it's full 2024, but it could be between 2023 and 2024. That is Daniel Allan and Lyra. I just need. It's an independent single. They pushed a lot with social medias with content. They reach a huge impact on Instagram, and I beat also on TikTok. And the track was very huge result about it. Completely independent. So if you want to do it, you just try it and try the way because there is not just one way, you know. But about the authenticity we're talking about, now I would like to touch a very hard topic that is the AI side and the impact of this technology. Also on platforms like Groover, for example, and about first the mining, the authenticity of the music of the real artist instead of the AI artist, but also the pros of this technology that maybe could help in some other ways the independent artist.
Like it's a very important question. It's very hot questions right now. Everybody's talking about
I
it
know.
and have opinions. For now, and my opinion may change. My opinion on this is that AI is great when it's used as a tool to help you in your creation. So if you're an artist and you're using some AI tools to help like refine your sound, find ideas, also contribute to what you're doing, and it's also helping you be better at it. And also, especially around the music, it's like when you're producing your music and you love it, then sometimes what's really like a burden sometimes is like all the content you need to create around it, all the format, all the video format and pictures and everything. When you're using AI for this and around you like and you save time and you save some complex moments or moments that like you don't enjoy, it's a really good thing. It's a really good tool, and you should definitely pursue that if you're interested in it. But what I'm concerned about is more about when AI is like you're using like some people are using AI to create an entire song with like not a lot of creative intention, just producing music with AI on like very different directions and then promoting those or like releasing those and trying to make money and make royalties out of this. For me, this is taking money out of some actual artists. And the reason for that is that it's really on there's a limit between are you using it to feed your creativity or are you using it as the entire creative process? And I'm a bit concerned about like AI replacing creativity and what's beautiful about art and about making music, in that sense that we see some artists right now that are like full AI and you can hear it. One day we won't be able to hear it. And I'm not concerned about like the quality of the music that we'll get in the ears of people. I feel like someday AI will be able to make beautiful songs. Honestly, I feel like it. It's not the concern here. The concern is more about who has made the song and do we want to retribute the person who's gonna get the money. It's all about like who's gonna get the money out of it, like that people are spending to listen to music and who is gonna
But
get that.
also, how do you feed this AI? How do
Yeah,
you
it's
trade
also the other
based on
problem.
what?
It's the other problem, but it's a separate problem. It's also like yes, the AI is trained on real material, and it's fed by like what like true songs and real songs, and it's building new songs based off that and on those inputs. But it's a separate problem. It's a real problem for the industry itself. But there's also like the big problem of like if there's a lot of AI music and it's getting good, and it's like companies that are like producing I don't know hundreds of songs a week and like getting royalties out of it. It's taking a part of the cake, a share of the cake that is usually going to independent musicians. That's for me like the biggest concern here. Also knowing that it's already complicated as an independent musician to get actually make a living out of their royalties. So if the cake is shrinking because a part of it is going to people who are just generating AI music, it's a bit of a problem. But at the same time, I feel like if you're very open about it, like you're releasing music that is AI and it's tagged as AI and people know about it. I mean, if you're like frank about this and you're not trying to trick people, I'm neutral about that for now. I hope it's not going to replace um, most of the music that we listen to today. And I think that people really need to connect to people and to personalities. And I think that people really want to connect with real people. And we'll see today with like pop stars, like, I don't know, Chaperone or like Taylor Swift or I don't know, a lot, Billie Eilish, that like people really want to connect to actual people that are making music. So it's not going to disappear, but at the same time, it's really asking the questions of like where the money is going to go and how the will people like react to that and try to regulate this. And my concern is that I feel we're not going to be able to distinguish AI music from not AI music in the future at some point. It's
I
going to be
I found no, but I found that in the US at the beginning, the point was raised fast. This one, so they were arguing about making a specific section that's AI music, split it from the human music, okay? So
yeah.
that will be paid differently, obviously. That will be all to be structured. So it takes time, but it could be a great solution. So you don't avoid people to make AI music, but you don't take so much money from the cake straight from the independent.
Yeah, if we're able to identify that, and which I hope we will be able to. I know there are tools today, but at some point it's gonna get so good that it's gonna be hard to distinguish from like the actual music. But if it's like open like this and people are like authentic about it and saying it's AI generated music, there's probably something to do here, of course.
For example, in the last 5 years, the major trends of the industry, also for artists to invest time, maybe because it's the beginning, so you are still on time, were first the blockchain that is now living his own world and the AI now. But which could be the next one rising up?
It's it's hard. Actually, I don't really know. I think like still the biggest point today is on the artist side is how can will are they able to like grow their audience and have more people listen to their music, make a living, and play shows in front of a lot of people. And I think it's always the topic. I don't know what new things can emerge from that part. I think that there will be new channels for discovery. There are already some new ones like social media is not new, of course, but there are a lot of like new formats and new ways artists are promoting their music there. There might be some new channels emerging. I really don't know which ones. We're trying to follow the trend and trying to be on top of them, but honestly, it's always surprising. I think AI is here to stay for quite a while. I think it's a bit different than like NFT and blockchain, which were like more like specifically applied to very specific things. I think AI is we're just seeing the beginning of what AI can do. I think it's going to be something that will be growing in different ways, different branches. It might be the ultimate thing. I'm really can't think of like new things apart from like more like soft thing about how our artists are going to connect more with their audience, how are they going to be able to like really manage their communities there, how can they are they going to be able to grow their project and everything. But the topics are still going to be the same, I think, for the next few years. It's just that we'll see new tools, we'll see new ways of new people that will experiment things to grow their project. And on the listener side, honestly, I think we'll keep on seeing artists, listeners listening music to music on streaming platforms. They're probably going to evolve their user experience to make it even more immersive, have more videos, have more like interactive materials. But I'm really curious. I honestly I don't know. We'll see.
So the
Like,
the future
yeah.
of music promotion is linked to AI at the moment.
Yes, I think
Mm,
yeah, I think like the future of promoting new music is it's gonna be a mess because there's gonna be so much more new music and there's already so much that keep on promoting is it's gonna come back to what you're saying. It's like how are artists gonna be able to really connect with people in an authentic way, consistent way, and keep on staying there and keep on finding their audience and finding their channel and their way to communicate to them. And it's going to be much more direct. It's going to be much more artist in their hands. How are they going to be connecting with people directly rather than how is the communication around them going to be made by other people in the industry? So this is like a big change that has started, but it's going to be even more and even more the case for sure in the next few years.
this new era is saturated by music on several markets, but the main problem that's the streaming, it's not still fixed, and we are going to face other problems at the moment. But the big trouble is that is all related to the streaming at the moment, and in my personal opinion, they must change something because also at the last Amsterdam Dance event, the rumors about 3 years of maximum time related to this change, it's necessary, not only for the payment on artists, but to face these massive releases that every day going uploaded on the platforms, not only on Spotify, also on other DSPs. But we need to face this very soon. Otherwise, we will not need promotion because there will be other cracks to fix bigger than this one.
It's tough to find like it, it's also tough because I think our people are not going to be spending much more money to listen to music. So the problem is also with like the amount of money there is dedicated to be paid to artists that is too small today for the number of artists there is. So there's a problem with the model of streaming, but there's also a problem with how music and how paying to listen to music has been completely disrupted in the past few years and decades. So we're not ready today. Like the population it's growing. Of course, there are more people in the world listening to music, but it's not growing at the same pace as the number of artists and artists producing music. So there's also a big problem of offer and demand intrinsically. And I think like streaming has in in part helped a way after like the crisis of the CDs and everything and to replace piracy and everything, but at the same time it's still not enough because like a lot of artists that are like trying to make a living out of it can't, but it's also because there's not money, there's not like people willing to pay for this, and there are a lot of like direct to fan systems that are like, hey, let's change the way the money's flowing. Artists could be requesting money from their fans for exclusives and everything, and it's really like I really like those models, and I think there's going to be a lot of innovation with this. But the problem is you need to have an audience for that. You need to have people willing to pay for your music already. And it's not all artists that have this first. So how can they first build their audience before they can monetize it? It's very hard and it takes a lot of time. And it's very hard to like grow in the middle of like all other artists. And to be frank, um, I don't think there's a solution for all. I think it's a game, unfortunately, that we'll see winners and losers, and there will still gonna be some artists that we're gonna be able to grow a lot. There's gonna be a middle class of artists who are gonna be able to live with their fans, their crowd, and make a decent living because they're doing something very special and unique, and they're able to like nurture that. And I think it's one of the trends that I see is like you can go for massive like success, and it's gonna be hard because like a lot of people are going that way, and it's like and it's more a winner takes all game. But at the same time, you can also explore what can make you unique and very special in your image, in your music, and that you can nurture like a specific crowd there that maybe not going to be very huge, but at the same time, it's going to be sufficient for you to keep on doing something you love.
I would like to stop about these creepy topics now. I ask you just a fast question. If you want to name an artist that has got a very good impact through Groover this year, or some names that you would like to rise up because they are examples that the platform can be helpful, and also because their music now is bigger, so they could be the next generation big artist. Who knows?
Yeah, I would mention two artists. The first one, they're called Art Longo, and they had never released any music, and they sent the music to Cracky Records, which is the label from of the first label of L'Impératrice, Agar Agar, really good like French pop artist, and they loved his music and they decided to release it, and it's their only signatures of the year as an artist they discovered on Groover, which is really cool. It was just seeing the beginning of it, but as a really good example of a connection that happened, it's really cool. Another one I'm thinking is Felix. He's been using the platform for 4 years at least. First, he was in a band called Six Skin Lovers, and they had like some quite good success on YouTube through videos on channels, and they were having great success on Groover. And then he started a solo career and really started from nothing. And we helped him releasing his tracks and get some exposure through Groover, and his music, all the place creators love it. It's very like kind of sad music, indie folk. He has a beautiful voice, very special signature, vocal signature. And with his first like EP, he is really growing in the sense that he's close to 50,000 monthly listeners by himself, like completely solo, just being helped with our platform. And he's got discovered by a very picky label in France called Infine. That is the label of Rhone. I don't know if you know Rone, like the French producer, and they're also like releasing a lot of classical music. They're loving the music. They sign him, and he's getting signed to AEG for tour. And it's like it's just popping. Like I think he's one of the artists that this year is gonna grow on the independent scene. And it's really interesting because he's French, but he's singing in English, and you can't see it as French music. And he's really having a lot of success internationally. Like his audience is not mainly in France. And it's a very good example of an artist that used Groover a lot to grow, had a lot of success there, and now is getting discovered by other people. He's still going to use Groover and still going to be helped by Groover, but at the same time, he's going to grow with other people joining the team. And I would love to see where he is in like, I don't know, 3, 4 years. He's probably going to be like, yeah, he has everything to become a star if he keeps on this way and this path.
So it's clear that you can now try your registration on Groover. I'm talking straight to our audience now. If you want to try it, Dorian will be all the team will be great to help you. And obviously, we are near the end of this conversation. I would like to thank so much Dorian to be with us today, to share his experience with our audience. And if you want to say something, Dorian.
Oh, I would say it was a very interesting and tough year, 2024. I'm very excited about 2025 and see what's gonna come up. And one thing is that like being an artist and keep on doing things and everything, like we saying you need to be consistent, authentic, and creative. It's so hard to do all of this at the same time. I would say like my only advice is remember that you that it's really cool that you're doing that because you love it, and try to keep on connecting to what you love in that. And when you're feeling a bit, I don't know, like down or you don't know where it's going, try to see, okay, what do you like the most in this, and try to do a bit of that. Try to do a bit of what you like the most and what's making you happy to keep on growing and keep on um, climbing again. Even if you go down again and you climb again, it's gonna be like a big roller coaster. So I'm just like as a piece of advice is like try to always think about what you love about it. even if a lot of it is like very painful, and not everyone will understand it in your like close family and everyone, because everyone feels like when you're an artist, you're just like having fun all the time, and we know it's not the case. But just try to reconnect to what you like when you're feeling down, to try to keep the energy to keep on going, because it's not going to happen in 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years. It's going to take a lot of time before you make it to where you want to go. It's a long game. It's a long game.
So thanks to be with us. Take all these advices for your 2025, and see you soon with another episode of the YouBeat Café. Bye. Thank you. Ciao.